Hey Jacksonville, the city continues to grow, and this is a big one for anyone paying close attention to housing trends across the region. Since the end of last year, the city has approved nearly 950 new single-family homes across multiple subdivision projects. And what stands out isn't just the volume, it's the distribution. These homes aren't concentrated in one corridor, one zip code, or one speculative hotspot. They're spreading across the Southside, Northside, and Westside, and that tells us something important about how Jacksonville is expanding. Growth isn't being funneled into a single pocket that risks overheating. It's being layered across the city in a way that supports long-term stability, transportation balance, and infrastructure planning. On the south side, ICI Homes continues expanding Seven Pines, one of the most talked about master planned communities in Northeast Florida. Across multiple phases, hundreds of homes are being added, and when fully built out, Seven Pines will include more than 470 single-family homes, along with a substantial amenity village, resort-style pools, walking trails, preserved green space, and intentional gathering areas designed to foster community interaction. That signals something beyond simple home construction. Builders are designing lifestyle ecosystems, places where residents aren't just purchasing square footage, but buying into a curated environment that emphasizes connectivity, recreation, and long-term livability. On the north side, near Trout River, a new subdivision will introduce just over 200 additional homes, reinforcing steady residential momentum in an area that has quietly been gaining traction for years. Infrastructure improvements, roadway connectivity, and access to employment corridors are helping fuel that demand, and developers are responding with phased build-outs rather than speculative surges. Meanwhile, the Westside remains a major development focus, with large-scale projects spanning hundreds of acres and incorporating a thoughtful mix of detached homes, attached homes, and townhomes that serve multiple price points. That blend isn't accidental. It reflects a strategy to diversify housing stock and accommodate a range of buyers: first-time homeowners, move-up families, multi-generational households, and downsizers seeking lower maintenance living. And here's what really matters. These 950 approvals don't even account for what's still pending. More than 1,300 additional single-family homes are currently awaiting approval, including some of the largest developments proposed in recent years. So yes, supply is increasing, but it's increasing gradually, methodically, and in structured phases. Jacksonville isn't flooding the market overnight or overbuilding in one micro-market the way some Sunbelt metros did during rapid booms. The development pipeline is geographically diversified and absorption-driven, which helps explain why Jacksonville has avoided the sharp volatility seen in cities that experienced extreme boom and bust cycles. Controlled supply growth creates a buffer against dramatic price swings, stabilizes resale values, and gives infrastructure time to scale alongside rooftops. Builders appear confident, but they're also disciplined. They're sequencing phases based on demand, watching absorption rates closely, tracking construction costs, and adjusting timelines when necessary. That balance between optimism and restraint is critical in a growth market like this, and it suggests Jacksonville's housing expansion is grounded in fundamentals: population growth, job creation, and long-term demand, rather than speculation or hype. Now, shifting gears, because growth isn't just about rooftops, it's about the workforce that builds, maintains, and powers those rooftops. Jacksonville's newest coffee shop is doing something genuinely unique, and it ties directly into the sustainability of all this development. Morning Oil Coffee is opening on the east side inside the historic Union Terminal warehouse. And while it may look like another local cafe on the surface, the concept runs much deeper. The entire space is intentionally designed with skilled trades in mind, welcoming workers in hard hats and steel-toe boots just as much as remote professionals with laptops. Every cup of coffee supports a broader mission centered on workforce development and strengthening the skilled labor pipeline in Northeast Florida. That mission is especially important when you zoom out nationally. Economists have been warning about a looming shortage of skilled trades professionals. Millions of positions in construction, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, welding, and related fields could go unfilled in the coming years. Without those workers, housing approvals don't translate into completed homes, and infrastructure timelines stretch as labor becomes constrained. The founders of Morning Oil are working toward launching a large-scale trade resource center in 2026 that will bring together students, trade schools, nonprofits, contractors, and employers under one roof. The goal is to remove friction between training and employment, to make it easier for someone to understand what certifications they need, where to obtain them, and how to transition directly into a paying job. Instead of allowing information gaps to delay entry into the trades, the model aims to streamline the pathway from curiosity to career. What makes this initiative stand out is its practicality and independence. Rather than relying exclusively on grants or political cycles, the business model is designed to be self-sustaining through daily operations. free coffee for job site safety meetings, partnerships with longstanding Jacksonville food businesses, contractor networking nights, and technology platforms that map skill development pathways. It's grassroots, blue-collar focused, and deeply intentional. When you pair expanding housing supply with deliberate investment in skilled labor culture, you see a city thinking about sustainability rather than just scale. Development doesn't happen without labor, and labor pipelines don't strengthen themselves. By investing in workforce infrastructure alongside residential growth, Jacksonville is reinforcing the foundation that supports long-term expansion. It's not just about adding homes to a map. It's about ensuring there are enough trained hands to frame them, wire them, plumb them, and maintain them for decades. That type of alignment between construction demand and workforce preparation reduces bottlenecks and supports more predictable project timelines, which ultimately benefits buyers, builders, and neighborhoods alike. Zooming out even further, another recent development reinforces just how confident major players are in Jacksonville's long-term trajectory. A Jacksonville-based commercial real estate firm has expanded its offices in South Point, increasing its footprint to accommodate continued growth. This isn't a boutique operator cautiously testing new waters. The company already owns and operates roughly 3 million square feet of retail and mixed-use property stretching from Georgia down to Daytona Beach, and leadership has publicly stated a goal of doubling that portfolio over the next 5 years. That's not incremental scaling. That's aggressive, strategic expansion rooted in conviction. And they're backing that conviction with action. The firm recently expanded retail space along University Boulevard and acquired a nearby shopping center for more than $14 million. Transactions of that size don't happen casually. They require underwriting analysis, demographic forecasting, tenant demand projections, and long-term confidence in consumer behavior and population growth. Commercial real estate often serves as an early indicator of economic belief because retail and mixed-use investors depend on stable rooftops, employment centers, disposable income, and consistent foot traffic. When a firm increases its headquarters footprint and acquires additional properties in the same market, it suggests leadership expects Jacksonville's growth curve to remain upward rather than plateau. And when you connect all of these stories, nearly 950 single-family homes approved across multiple corridors, more than 1,300 still in the pipeline, grassroots workforce investment through innovative concepts like morning oil coffee and expanding commercial real estate portfolios, a clear pattern emerges. Jacksonville isn't just growing quickly, it's growing intentionally. Housing supply is expanding in phases across diverse geographies. Workforce development is being addressed at the community level. Institutional investors are scaling commitments rather than pulling back. That kind of alignment across residential, labor, and commercial sectors doesn't happen by accident. It reflects a market attracting capital, talent, and long-term strategic thinking. The real question isn't whether Jacksonville is growing. That's evident in permits, cranes, and transactions. The more important question is how that growth continues to be managed in a way that preserves affordability, infrastructure balance, and opportunity for both new arrivals and longtime residents. When housing expansion, workforce investment, and commercial confidence move together, the foundation of a city strengthens. And right now, Jacksonville's foundation looks deliberate, diversified, and built for endurance rather than a short-term spike. I'm Luke Christmas, and it's always Christmas when you work with Christmas Homes.